All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new movie review. And today I'm going to be talking about the movie Roadhouse. Not the 1980s classic film starring Patrick Swayze, but the new 2024 version that is exclusively streaming on Amazon Prime, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. And I will tell you that when I first saw the poster for this a few months ago, I thought this was going to be ridiculous. I didn't think this was going to work, but then the trailer got released, and I was really intrigued by it. It actually looked like it was going to be a very fun, entertaining movie taking place in Florida. And so I was eagerly awaiting the release, and so I watched it this morning, and I'm here to give my review. Now, this movie is directed, I don't know how you say the director's last name, Doug Lyman, or Lamont. I'm not sure how you say his last name. But Jake Gyllenhaal is in this film, and here's the official synopsis of the film. It's very short. It says, ex-UFC fighter Dalton takes a job as a bouncer at a Florida Keys roadhouse, only to discover that this paradise is not all it seems. Now, he is surrounded by some interesting characters in this film, the biggest being Conor McGregor, who plays Knox in the film, who is one of the people that is sent to go after Dalton. And we're keeping the same name as the original movie. We're keeping the original premise, but it is a whole different, landscape here and different people. And there are some surprise cameos, the biggest being Post Malone as a UFC fighter. No, well, not even a UFC fighter, an underground fighter. And he's credited in the movie as Austin Post. So I don't know if he's trying to make an acting career now or what he's doing, but I was surprised to see him at the very beginning of the film. We also have the main bad guy played by Billy Magnuson. He plays Ben Brandt in the film. Now, talking about this film, going into this, like I said, I was pretty excited to see it. The trailer had me very intrigued. And I was going into this expecting it to be more fun than it actually ended up being. But I don't want to make it sound like it's a bad film. It's not a bad film. One of my big pet peeves with films is when you have somebody go in there and the actors start explaining on the screen what is happening. It takes you out of the film. And there are two different times in this movie where characters are actually telling you what's going on like the audience is stupid. And I don't like that. It happened a couple of times. There are also a couple of scenes that are very outlandish. Most of the movie is pretty grounded. You know, some of the fights are definitely outlandish, but there are even a few scenes that go above and beyond that and are just totally outlandish and just, even for this world, don't work. And the director did some interesting things with the camera in this film. Some of the shots are using like fisheye. Like they want you to feel like you are that person right there, and they use a fisheye technique, the director did, to get you into that moment. There's some blurring shots, some things they do with your senses to make it seem like you're in the moment. And they're pretty effective. It was good. So story-wise, this is very similar to the first film. But it's, like I said, it's a different landscape. It's different people. And I was hoping that we would end up with a little more beefy story than we got here. It's pretty straightforward. I do like the setting a lot. But the director really muted a lot of the colors that you would see in Florida. And so it's got more blue hues to it and it's more blue, like a blue lens, a blue thing over the lens. And so it kind of takes you, it takes away, I think, from the landscape of where this is taking place. There are some things that happen out on the water that are pretty cool. And overall, it is a fun movie. It is definitely worth checking out. And I will tell you that the director, Doug Lyman, that's just how I'm going to say his name, he was upset that Amazon was going to make this for free for Prime members. And even if you're not paying for the commercial thing, as long as you watch a short commercial at the beginning, you can watch the movie without any commercials in it. And so know that going in if you're not paying for the commercials, the extra $2 or whatever it is they want per month for that. That's something that they just started. But the director was upset that this didn't get released in theaters. And after seeing it, I would have seen it at the theaters, but I wouldn't have walked out like wowed. It is a fun movie, and Jake Gyllenhaal does a great job playing Dalton. But he doesn't have the on-screen presence that someone like Patrick Swayze had. And so you're all building up. You know where what this is building up to towards the end. And the end, the final confrontation, I'm going to call it, it has some pretty cool moments in it. And so at the same time, some of it's a little outlandish, but it's still quite a bit of fun. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stick around for a mid-credits scene. So they're going to show you the main credits when the movie ends with lots of pictures and stop-motion stuff. And then it goes into the main credits. And right before it goes into the main credits, there is a post-credit scene that you are going to want to check out. Now, this movie was rated R for violence, for nudity. And if you've seen the original 1980 film, there was lots of female nudity in that film. There is no female nudity in this. What you get in this film is male nudity, and it's multiple times throughout the film. And so I wouldn't say that this is necessarily for the kids, and there is language as well. So it did earn its R rating, but I wouldn't call it a super hard R type of film. The violence is interesting, and there were some interesting characters and moments. So at the end of the day, if I had to give this a rating out of 5 stars, I would say that if you like the first film, I think you'll enjoy this. It's not as fun of a film, but it is still worth worth watching. It is a full 2 hours long, and out of 5 stars, I give it 3.5 stars. It's a solid film. It's something I would definitely check out again, and I do like it as a remake. I think it's one of the few remakes that does not do anything to diminish what the first film was. All right, guys, so there's my review on Roadhouse 2024. If you've seen it, what did you think? I do appreciate the support. We will see you on the next video.